Welcome back, fuckers. Alrighty, in this next video, in the Su-25 Tango Frogfoot DCS for Beginners series, we are going to continue on with the playlist. So hopefully you have been watching along and you're progressing along with your skills of flying. So that you've definitely, if you're brand new to this flight simulator, you have got your work cut out for you on the stuff that we've covered in the previous video. So if this is your first video that you've seen of the Frogfoot and you want to actually learn how to fly the Frogfoot, go back and check the other videos on, starting from video number 1 in this playlist all the way through to this one and work your way through. So we cover everything that you need to know. I'm doing this as if I was brand new into DCS World, but knowing what I know now. Okay, so I'm trying to make this as all-encompassing for a brand new person as possible. So if you are in that category, this is the playlist for you. Okay, the tutorial series for you. And if you've never flown the Su-25, it's pretty damn good. Like, I am very, very impressed with it so far. And I've only just started dabbling in some of the things that it can do. And yeah, I see myself probably going to be flying this thing for some sorties, because it's pretty freaking cool, especially once you actually understand how it works and what it can do. Yeah, I'm impressed with this thing. Anyways, today's video, we're going to continue on with the foundations, and we've covered how to keybind. We've covered all the keybinds that you're going to need. We've covered the how to taxi, how to take off, how to fly, how to land, and we also covered navigation, how to use the navigation modes in the Su-25, and also how to do a pattern landing. All right. So hopefully you've been practicing all of that stuff, and you're ready for the next part, which is, drumroll, formation flying. You're going to learn how to fly form off of a aircraft today. That's what we're going to set up in the mission editor and continue adding to our lovely little mission that we're making for ourselves, for you guys to play and practice in the Su-25. So let's get into it. So you're going to come over to the mission editor, load her up. We're going to go file. Remember, if it brings up this map, and you don't have the the mission page, you just go file and select open. If you do not have this thing, you're going to just go open mission on the box that pops up for you. You're going to select the mission that you've already been working on. And if you don't have this mission, it's because you haven't watched the tutorial series and you haven't made the mission yet. So go back to mission number 1, or sorry, video number 1, and start from there and catch back up. These videos are here for you to get better. So start at the start, get to where we are right now, and then continue on getting awesome. So we're going to open it up. All right, so this is it. This is where we were last flight. So we put in the air start aircraft for ourselves, and we practiced some pattern landings at Kutaisi Airfield. What we're going to do now is we're going to put in an aircraft for you guys to practice flying formation off, and you're going to learn how to set up, how to put an AI aircraft into the mission editor for yourself to have a flight or play around with as well. All right, so we're going to get that happening now. So you're going to come over to our add or modify airplane group. You're going to click on that, and we're going to make sure that the country is USA, or a blue country. Otherwise, it'll try and shoot us, which we don't want. And we're just going to click on the map. Anyway, okay, so we go between Kobuleti and Kutaisi. Doesn't really matter where you put this. We're also going to change the type of aircraft. You can pick whichever aircraft you would like. All right, so we're going to go with something big, because it's your first time flying form and it's going to be hard to spot this stuff. So we're going to go with a, just to sort the aircraft a little bit easier, we're going to go with let's go with the refueling. And we've got options here. So we've got a KC-135, a KC-130, a KC-130J. That's new. KC-135 MPRS tanker, and an S3B. What is that? Let's see what that... KC-130J, KC-130. They've got a J model in here now. Nice. That's cool. Awesome. All right, we'll throw that in. So this is going to be our plane. We're going to fly formation off. All right. So that is all we need to do there. Excuse me. The voice is dying. All right, so we've got our aircraft selected. Now we're going to assign the waypoints for it to fly. So wherever it is, let's make this nice and easy for you. So you're going to left click on it. Make sure you're on edit. Okay, if you're on add, it's going to put a waypoint down wherever you left click. So to get rid of a waypoint, if you accidentally put one there, just press delete on the button. Don't press delete on the keyboard to delete the unit. You're going to press edit, and then you're going to left click and drag on him. We're going to drag him over here on GG17. Okay, that right there, GG17, up near the river mouth, near waypoint 3 that you had before. We're going to put him there. The altitude, we're going to put him at an altitude of, let's go 3,500 meters, and his speed he's going to be doing, let's make him going something that's acceptable for us to fly form off. We'll go maybe a speed of 600. Okay, no, you can't do that. You can only go 222 kilometers an hour. Really? That's as fast as it can go? Surely not. What is going on with that? 0. Surely that thing can go fast. All right, we'll suss this out in a second. Okay, so from there, you're going to put a waypoint. Let's go waypoint at the, let's go at the bend right here underneath Patara Poti. Okay, Patara Poti, put a waypoint right there. Now let's see if we can speed him up. Nope. All right, let's try this. There we go. Why is the KC-130 only able to do 0.185 Mach? Okay, so scratch that. You're going to go KC-130, guys. KC-130, not the J. It won't let it go fast for some reason. I don't know why. What's going on there? So altitude at waypoint 1 is 3,500 meters. Speed is going to be 600 kilometers an hour. All right, at waypoint 1. Don't worry about radio. You can uncheck that because you don't want to talk to them anyway. We're just going to use them as a plane to follow. And we're going to put our other waypoint. So we're still in add. I'm going to come over and I'm going to put a waypoint on, let's go, put it at the control tower here. So this little guy, put it right there. Okay. And it should still be the same, 3,500 meters, 600 kilometers an hour. All right. So you've now got 2 waypoints for our KC-130. So the C-130 refueler plane. All right. What you're going to do now is you're going to go back through the waypoints. So we're on waypoint 0. You're going to go to waypoint 1. So you can change your waypoints by these 2 little arrows here. We want to go to waypoint number 1. Okay, so we've got waypoint 1 selected. You can see it is yellow, showing that it is selected there. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to advanced waypoint actions here. This little guy here. Click on that. I'm just going to bring a little drop down. It'll say tanker-a-ref. What you're going to do is you're going to click on the add a new action at the end of the list. Press that. We're going to select perform task. If it's not on perform task already in the type, you're going to click on that in the drop down menu. You're going to select perform task. Action is going to be orbit. You're going to select orbit. Okay. Now we want to match up our airspeeds and our altitude. So we're going to make our speed 600 kilometers an hour, same as this, and our altitude 3,500. Okay. And that is, and you're going to make sure it's in racetrack pattern. Okay. Racetrack pattern. And that's what you got to do. You're just going to click on advanced waypoints. That's done. So again, to recap, you need to put, bastard, get out of there. Put the KC-130 on GG17 or close enough to it. Put one waypoint down at the bend here and another waypoint down at Kutaisi at the ATC right there. So you've got 2 waypoints. You're going to cycle back on the waypoint number so that you get waypoint 1 active. You're going to say advanced waypoint actions. You're going to select add, and then you're going to, God damn it. All right, you're going to have that one there. Okay, perform task. Action is orbit. racetrack pattern, airspeed the same, 600, altitude 3,500. And then you can just click on the advanced waypoint actions to get rid of it. And what you have done is you've set up this aircraft now is going to spawn in the air at 3,500 meters, doing 600 kilometers an hour. It's going to fly to waypoint number 1, and then it's going to do a racetrack pattern between waypoint 1 and waypoint 2. So it's going to fly at 600 kilometers an hour until it gets to waypoint 2, and it's going to do a left-hand turn, and it's going to fly straight back at 600 kilometers an hour, 3,500 meters, until it gets to waypoint 1, and it'll do a left turn. It's just going to do an orbit between those two waypoints. So we've got a nice long stretch there that you can practice, and it's going to have some turns in as well that you're going to practice flying formation of. What we're going to do with our little aircraft, you're going to come over to the guy we were using before for your pattern landings. Okay, you're going to click on him, and we're going to go to, so click on him, and you're going to press delete to delete the waypoint that we put. No, that's not going to work. Okay, cycle to waypoint number 1. Okay, and a little arrow, and then press delete. We're just going to get rid of the waypoint. We're then going to drag, so left click and hold, and then right click to drag over, and we're going to put ourselves behind the tanker. Right? Put ourselves behind the tanker. Within, you can use a ruler tool here. So 1 kilometer behind him, 1.5 kilometers behind. You can also just go add waypoint and just click just to make the plane pointing in the right direction, then just delete the waypoint. So then the plane will be facing towards the plane that we're chasing. And we're going to change our altitude to the same, 3,500, and our speed, we're going to make it 600. Okay, so we've put our aircraft now, our Airstart aircraft is at 3,500 meters, 600 kilometers an hour behind the tanker. So when we spawn in, we should be able to see this guy. And then all we're going to do is we're going to speed up and catch up to him, and we're going to practice flying formation of him. Because this is the next skill that you guys need to work on to start getting good at DCS and getting ready to fly missions with your friends or in single player or any of that stuff. Okay, learn how to formation fly is a good skill to have. Okay, it is a good skill, trust me. All right, that's it. So we're going to go file, we're going to press save, we're going to leave, we'll just double check the weather, 3,800. So we might bump the clouds up just a touch so we're not flying through them. So we'll bump them up to 5,500 meters. Okay, so we don't have clouds in our face, losing visual. We're going to press save, and we're going to press fly mission. All right, so again, we've got our 2 aircraft to choose from. We're going to choose the Su-25 Airstart. Okay, make sure you choose air, not Batumi. I'm going to press OK. It'll spawn us in, and we should have the KC-130 on the nose here. So we're going to press fly. Just going to press number 1 to piss off our modes. And we're going to have a look. See if we can see our little tanker buddy. Which we don't. Let's quickly have a quick squiz. Oh, he's off to a fucking... He's over there. You can check F10. There he is. Tally. Right there. Alright, so you want to get eyes on him. He should fly across our nose any second from right to left. There he is. And we're just going to catch up to him. So he's going full throttle. Speed up. Now he's doing 600 kilometers an hour. He'll actually be a little bit less than that because indicated airspeed and ground speed. Different things. Alright, so he's just hit waypoint 1 there, so you can see he's gone into a turn. Now he's going to start flying towards waypoint number 2. Just bring my controls up here. And we're going to just cruise in. So I'm doing 610 knots. We're slowly catching him. Remember, the Su-25 doesn't slow down very fast. So keep that in mind. So if you're coming up real quick on him, you're going to overshoot him quite fast. All right, so I'm just trimming so that we're flying pretty much straight and level. Speed brake out to slow down. All right, so what we're going to do to start with is you're going to get the tanker. You're going to keep him just in this area here, just above your mirror, in this triangle, somewhere in there. That's all I want you guys to focus on. This is your first goal. Can you get the tanker in this triangle? So I'm just looking at this little triangle here, and I'm just adjusting my trim and my airspeed, my throttle. I'm always moving the throttle. And I'm just keeping him in the triangle. I'm not trying to get super close to him. Just keeping him in that little triangle between my mirror, that little triangle there. I'm keeping visual on him right there. Trim it up, so we're going to speed our aircraft a touch. Starting to get away from us. Alright, so that's goal number 1. Keeping him in that triangle. So if you're struggling, that's your first goal. Once you can maintain him in there. And then all you're going to do is you're just going to slowly now, so he's still in that area, I'm just looking at him. I'm not looking at the HUD here, I'm looking eyes on him. I'm not looking at anything else. I'm just looking at him. I'm not looking at my airspeed, I'm not looking at my altitude, I'm looking at the aircraft that I'm flying from. That's all I'm worried about, and I'm just adjusting my controls in relation to what it's doing in my eye line. So I'm going to increase the speed now to try and close the gap, so he's going to start getting bigger. And again, your throttles, you don't want to just leave the throttle set on something. Just always adjust the throttle in your flying form, and you're using your trim. Okay, use your trim hat. So I'm not touching the stick at all. I'm just trimming, hitting the trim hat, get the aircraft flying where I want it to be. Now I'm going to start putting a little bit of left bank in to slowly start creeping up on the C-130. So throttles are coming back. Left hand stick, left bank. Whatever you want to call it. And we're just going to try and get a little bit closer. So again, we're going to use, I'm just going to use this as my reference point. I don't know if this is what you actually use for a reference point or not, but I'm going to use that. So now that I want to get closer, I'm going to still use this. Okay, I'm going to use the bottom of my mirror, projecting a line straight up. That's where I'm going to use a reference point. I'm going to try and keep whatever I'm looking at a 90-degree bend from that corner, straight up from the mirror. That's what I'm looking at. Okay, so pretty much where my cursor is, that's what I want to line up for my reference point. So now, I'm going to try and put the outer pylon here, this pylon, that guy, I'm going to try and put that at that spot. Okay, so I've drawn that line, imaginary line up, 90-degree bend. I'm going to try and get the pylon on that spot. So I've got that imaginary spot that I'm looking at, 90-degree bend, and I'm using this point here, the front of that pod, as my reference point to try and get it where I need it to be. So there's the mouse, just using the stick. And this is where your throttle curves come in. You use the axis curves that I told you guys to start putting in, the 25. If you don't have axis curves, this is going to be super hard for you to do, okay? Because your stick inputs are going to be super, super, super very sensitive. Alright, so now we're going to get a little bit closer, and we're going to go for this one. We're going to go the inboard pylon in the same spot. So I'm still just looking at him, and I'm just changing my aircraft in relation to, I'm looking right at the point of that pod. That's where I'm looking. Nowhere else, just staring at that spot. You can zoom in if you want a little bit more. That's because we're getting a bit closer. Again, I'm trying to get that pod, tip of the pod, just above the mirror, in line with the corner of the canopy. It's looking pretty good there. Alright, and if we go to, don't you guys do this, but if you go to F3, there you go, you're flying form. Off of old, mate. And then you're just going to try and get a little bit closer. So let's just come in a little bit more. You just want to pick a reference point on the aircraft. Oh, he's hit the turn, there we go. Alright, so now we're in a bank. This is the next level, next challenge. We want to try and keep that same reference point. That mark, pod on the mark. Pod on the mark. Tip of the pod on the mark, which is pretty good there. And that's all I'm doing. I've just got that imaginary line straight up and across, trying to keep the tip of this inboard pod as close to that imaginary point as I can. And he's just going to do a nice, good, gentle left-hand bank. Nothing too crazy. We're just going to try and get a little bit closer. And as you get more confident and less crazy with the stick inputs, you can do the same. So start off nice and wide, and then just start bringing it in a little bit more. So now I'm going to use the engine, outboard engine, trying to get that on the spot that I've picked. Let's start with nice. Alright, so that's how you fly formation, guys. You just pick a spot, a reference point on the canopy, and then pick a spot, a reference point on the aircraft that you're following, and then off you go from there. And that's actually not a bad little spot. I don't know if that's what people use as a spot to fly formation, but that's a very nice, easy, attainable position. Straight up from the mirror, straight from the corner of your canopy, where the two lines would intersect. Try and put your focus point on that. So he's rolling out now. We match him. Alright, so let's put the wingtip now. Come out a little bit and put the wingtip in that spot. We'll go the back of it, and that little back of the wingtip. We're going to use that as our, so I'm staring that little black circle at the back of the wingtip there. That's my new reference point. Just staring at that spot. I'm just getting it just above the mirror. Exactly there. We're nice and close now, aren't we? But it's all the same fundamentals. So trim your aircraft so you've got minimal stick inputs to do. And then pick your reference point. Pick a reference point on the canopy. Pick a reference point on the aircraft that you're trying to form up on. And then line those two spots up. And that's all you got to do. And you just adjust your throttle and your joystick. Pitch and roll. You don't really need to put much yaw in at all. I'm not using rudder pedals pretty much at all on this one. And then once you get good at it on the right side, we're going to come across. We're going to slow down just a touch. We'll go under him. So just nice and smooth movement. That's what you want. We're going to do the same thing here. We're going to cross under. Come up on the other side. I'm going to use the other side now. So you've got to learn how to fly form on both sides. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to use our reference point, mirror, corner, form up, putting the wingtip in that spot. Wait to see the wingtip. There it is. Okay, so I'm staring at it now. That black tubing that's coming out of the back of the wingtip there. Just flying off that. So when you fly in form, you're not, all you're concentrating on is just flying form. You're not looking out for enemy aircraft, especially when you're this close in. You're not looking out for anything. You're not looking around the cockpit. You're just eyes on, locked onto that formation point, which is why flying as a wingman is super hard, because you have to concentrate so hard to keep your aircraft in the position that it needs to be. Which is why it's a skill, because if you lose sight of your wingman, you don't have radar, like we don't have in the Su-25, doesn't have a radar, it's going to be a pain in the ass for you to find each other to keep doing your mission. Alright, so that's obviously flying in super close, and then we can just push out and get a bit of separation here. You just want to be nice and smooth. So look at my controls, I'm barely touching it. Barely putting stick input at all. It's nice and smooth. Just keep pushing out. Just keeping kind of the same airspeed. Keeping eyes on him. Alright, now we're flying line abreast with him. Alright, but as a wingman, your job is to maintain your position. So if you're flying with someone and someone's the flight lead and they're like, I want you in tactical spread, which is pretty much this, you spread out and your job is to stay here on the left or the right. Okay, so he knows. He doesn't want to be looking, your flight lead isn't worried about where you are. You are supposed to be where you are. That's your job, is to stay where you're supposed to be. Which is why formation flying is important. Knowing how to position yourself in your aircraft in relation to other aircraft, and flying close formation flying is a super important skill, because it's going to help you with aero refueling. If you ever get an aircraft module that has got aero refueling capabilities, that is definitely something that you need to get down. So we're just going to come back in now, and that's pretty much it, guys. So that's what I want you guys to do. I want you just to practice flying form off of KC-130. Okay, I'm just going to come back over, form back up on him. He's going to go into a left-hand turn very soon. He's about to hit waypoint number 1. We put out the, remember we put the waypoint at this bend here. So he's flying right back at it. So he's going to start turning into us very, very soon. Left-hand turn, and start flying across us. But anyways, guys, that is it. I hope it made sense to you. I hope you have got some things to work on now, some things to think about, and you've definitely got your work cut out to practice flying formation. So get amongst it, fire up that mission, and fly exactly what I just did, and just practice flying around, following him. Follow old mate along. Okay, let's hit his turn right there. There he goes. Into his turn. And then, yeah, when he's in the turn, that's another skill, like learning to fly formation when the aircraft starts banking left or right. That's all skills you need to get down. But anyways, that's enough jibber jabber for me. So if you liked the video, make sure you go ahead and give us a big old like if it helped you out. And if you've got any questions, queries, or comments on anything that we covered in the video, definitely throw them in the comment section down below, and I'll do my best to get back to you guys as soon as I can. And lastly but not least, if you haven't hit the big subscribe button to the channel and you've been watching for a little while, or if it's your first time in the channel and you like what you see, you're enjoying the content, if you do us a solid and hit the subscribe button, that'll help me out a bunch to even get towards 5,000 subscribers coming up our way. Anyways, that'll do us, guys. Thanks heaps. Practice your formation flying, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.